answer this phone, man. Answer this phone, bro. I need to talk to you for a minute. Hello. What up? I just need to talk to you for a minute.
What's up, man?
Welcome back to Base Talks. Today, I have the pleasure, again, to have Jason Middleton in the house. A name that is known by many around these parts. But we're going to get to know him a little better today. He's agreed to sit down with me and be open and share. And my hope is that the person that hears him needs to hear him. And they take what he says and applies it to their life. Thank you for being here today, Jason.
Thank you for inviting me back again.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's really good.
Yeah, we had the first tapings, and because it was our first tapings, you were actually the first guest on Base Talks, and because the camera, we were a little bit new, and we had it on slow, and the audio didn't come out quite right. I think there's some people that are gonna watch this, and they ain't never liked you, and they ain't gonna like you, and there's some people that love you. You know, what would you say to the people that ain't never liked you and ain't gonna like you? Bishop, what would you say to them?
Kind of sucks to be them.
Sucks to be them.
And,
Anything else?
I don't know, man. Keep your heart open. Keep your heart open and keep on pushing.
We didn't use that footage, but you were so gracious, man. When I told you the issue with it, you said, "Nah, I'll come back. I'll do it again." So now we're gonna do it again. Base Talks, sponsored by Resurrection Properties. Where you from, Jay?
I'm from Yarmouth, Nova Scotia, a small seafaring town at the southwest end of the
What
province.
does seafaring mean?
They're like a seaport, a lot of fishermen. Their
Okay,
biggest industry there is the fishery, right? So
Nice. Okay.
every type of fishing is there.
The ferry's there that goes across to the States, right?
Yes.
You ever take that?
No, not allowed in the States.
You probably can't get there now.
They're not allowed in the States.
So who is Jason? Let's go back a little bit. We're gonna get to the stuff that most people's itching ears are ready to hear about, taking a life. And what was that like for you? But who was Jason as a kid? Did you ever think that you'd take a life? There was something you wanted to do at some point?
No, certainly not. It was, for me, just being a kid was being a kid. Like, everything was, seemed okay. Life and everything in my life to a certain point as a young boy was pretty elementary. School, home, playing with the other kids in my community, yeah.
You said that same thing seemed okay, but you were raised by your grandmother.
Yes.
And it from a kid
From a baby, 5 days old.
5 days old.
She took me from the hospital. My mom, my biological mom, she was 13.
13.
Yeah, so
13 when she had you.
yeah.
Whoa.
So she was a child having a child, and I think there was a point it was complicated, or not knowing if she was going through pregnancy, puberty, what have you. So it would have been really perplexed, I'm thinking.
So your grandma jumped in. That would have been her daughter.
Yes.
So she jumped in there to, take the responsibilities that obviously she thought that your mom could not deal with.
For sure.
Was your mom still there? Was she helping out?
No, well, she would frequent the home, but not a mainstay in the home. And I'm the oldest grandchild for my grandmother, and of her 13 children, I was the baby. So my aunts and uncles were more to the description were my brothers and sisters.
So you took them as your brothers and sisters. So you would have looked up to them.
Yes.
And they treated you well?
Well, as far as what was normalized in the home, right?
Normalized, okay.
Yeah, what was normalized. To me, I think what was normal to many others might not have been normal.
At some point, you ended up in like the youth center?
Yeah.
That was your first.
Shelburne School for Boys. It was a juvenile facility there in Shelburne, but it played house to the whole province
Okay.
juvenile.
What happened that you ended up there?
My nan, she at one point couldn't take care of me. There was a lot of contributing factors, and I would be into foster care.
So it wasn't because you had got a criminal charge.
No, it was I was running away a lot from these foster homes and group homes, and I did get in some trouble in these times, but by the time I had got to the court, what was minute become major because the judge in youth court maybe felt he understood some of the family dynamic, so it made easy to offer me more to the system without some hands-on caregiving going on at home, right?
So you've had a lot of run-ins with the system. So I want to try to clarify this. You're saying that you were in the system because of first time, not because of you were getting in trouble so much, but for like care and safety, or because it was coming too much on your grandmother?
Yeah, well, my grandmother there was a severe lack of mental health resource in that day and time, in the 70s through the early 80s. And then I didn't know it in the time, but I just knew that some folks showed up to the house, my grandmother's home, and I just thought they were visitors of some sort, and they were there to take me, unbeknownst to me. And I automatically felt that deep, deep sense of abandonment. And like, I have a big family, very big family. And I'm thinking, why am I in foster care? Why am I not with my brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, great-grandfather? My family was huge, so I didn't quite understand that. So I spent a lot of time group home to group home, foster home to foster home. And of course, out of necessity, I would do some stealing, just different little things, just to have things, needing things.
You say necessity, so you weren't being taken care of up to par in these
No.
places?
No. And I really wasn't giving these places any type of chance either.
Okay.
I would go in, like just one example of many times, I would go into the place and all of this unfamiliar to me. I'd say, okay, I'm just going to put my bag up, settle in, and I'd throw the bag immediately out the window. Do you mind I go out and play? And they'd be like, okay, don't go too far. And
Gone.
Yeah, running.
So those times, but that you were also in Shelburne. So you had to get a charge to go to Shelburne, though.
I did grab a couple of the charges. I think by 8 years old, I was pretty knowing, and I was
8 years old.
Pardon me?
8 years old. You were in Shelburne at 8 years? No.
No, I was there at 12, but
12.
by 8 years old, I was very knowing, streetwise, and kind of just watching everything, taking it in. I'd got into some trouble, like just petty things like stealing and stuff like that. Right?
So you went for that.
And I caught a little charge, but when I hit that court and was sentenced to a carceral sentence to Shelburne, the judge had already seen my other brother, who was 9. Ray, he was doing his first juvenile sentence at 9. I started mine in around 12. So he was familiar with the family dynamic, the judge that is, and he said, I know where this is going, and I'll have a place for you, Shelburne School for Boys.
Okay. I've heard about Shelburne School for Boys. It doesn't have a really good name. I mean, some things went on there. Were you there at the time? Were you part of any of that? What went on with the kids there?
I was. I think we know a lot of the atrocities went on there, and Nova Scotia Home for Colored Children.
You were there too.
Yeah, yeah, and then the Hawthorne House in Dartmouth, a whole series of places through the province.
So you're saying that you were kind of messed with, or some kind of way in all these places?
Physically abused, mostly in and around the Shelburne School for Boys. It was mostly a physical thing, but I've certainly had to work through some abuses, physical abuse, sexual abuse, emotional abuse, these different abuses.
Caused in these places.
In these places, some in the home,
Okay.
some in the home, but in the home, again, it was normalized. It was the climate and atmosphere.
When you say normalize, are you talking about the way you be disciplined?
Yeah, the way I was disciplined, catch a good whooping, and
And it be normal?
it was normal. It was normal to watch. Sometimes my nan would win, sometimes she would lose, but
What do you mean?
in fighting, like in the home,
Against you?
her and my grandfather.
Okay.
And I mean, there was one instance I will talk to it, and we were real young, me and Ray being the babies. We're only 3 months apart, and he's really my uncle, but he's 3 months. He's my brother, and we're there in this one particular fight. My grandmother and grandfather got to fighting, and there was a whole host of people in the home. Some that lived there, some were just temporarily staying there. So there was a whole flux of people in and out of the home all the time. And this fight turned bad, and my grandfather locked himself in the bathroom. My nan, she set a fire under the one entrance to the bathroom door. She got around to the back window and double-bladed axe. So the guy had a choice. Take the fire on the door, what's on the other side, or jump the window, and she on the other side with a double-bladed axe. So to many, this would be dysfunction to a deep degree, but to me, this was already normalized. Right?
Normal.
To watch the adults fight with guns, knives, bottles, fists, feet, that wasn't unfamiliar.
One of the reasons, and we talked about this, that we're having these conversations, and we're going to go back and forth on them, is that we want to know who Jason Middleton is. Because the things you have done and the things that you may still struggle with or whatever, didn't just come out of nowhere. You know, things shaped you that way. And if we can have these conversations and start to show people a pattern that they may want to break somehow within their own life, or even if they're doing it in front of their children. I mean, these conversations can be very well needed and put to good use. So I really appreciate you sharing that. But we're gonna keep going, because it wasn't just stuff going on in the home and stuff going on in these institutions that you were sent to try to better yourself. I guess the intent was that you're gonna go there and it's gonna help you in life, right? Mm-hmm. But that's not seem how it worked out for you.
No, it didn't. There was, like, by the time I had got to Shelburne, any of the animosities and afflictions and the other offenders there wasn't foreign to me, like the fighting, the chaos, the calamity, the confusion in it all, the not understanding why we are being hurt as children by our so-called caregivers. And
So it was like leaving there. It was like just going home. Mm-hmm. Going there was like going home.
it's very familiar, familiar. The climate, the atmosphere, confusion, aggravation, as it could have been. It was really an incubator for more of the same.
So from the confusion in the home, and we would say some dysfunction, into the things you went through in these institutions, you went on to higher institutions. Like,
Yeah.
how did you end up in doing your first bit?
Uh,
What was your first bit?
in young offenders, I had from Shelburne to Waterville and then the county to the federal pen. It was more of the same. Would be a lot of assaultive behavior. Some of it was in the name of self-preservation, just protecting myself, and a lot of it was I could really, I wouldn't know to call it that then, but I could condone my behavior just based on the pain I felt inside, right? So I was really hurt and wounded, and people hurting hurt people.
Did you
So
did you
I
ever
didn't
feel
have
like
an issue.
did you ever feel like you were a violent person, or do you feel you had to be to protect yourself?
I felt I more so had to be in the name of self-preservation because by nature I was always a curious kid. I was eager to please in the adult context of my family members, my community. I was a pretty good kid in school. I
Are you
did
good in
not,
school?
yeah, really good in
So you
school.
can read and write.
Yeah,
Nice.
and I didn't really have to fully apply myself to make the grade. I didn't have to study any of those things, right? So, and I still made the grades. Academics come fairly easy to me, but school is where I spent. I didn't mind either because less calamity, dysfunction in school than at home. So it was easy to be in that space.
Okay, so a guy that was good in school, having some problems and elsewhere. Like Jason, how did you end up in jail? How did you end up? Let's just jump ahead a little bit, and we're gonna go back and forth a bit. How did you end up in jail for murder?
Uh, in 1993, I'd already by then had gone to like Winnipeg, Manitoba to meet my father. I might have been 15-ish, 16-ish. And I went out there, and the area he lived was a very high crime area. So I got really seasoned around more escalating crime and situations. I think in that time, Winnipeg, the North End, had we been on the other side of the border, neighbors, Fargo, North Dakota, South Dakota, on the borderline, and they would have said in the U.S. it would have probably been the fourth worst state had it been a U.S. state, just because of the crime rate being that high. It was the murder capital of Canada. So it wasn't unfamiliar to me to be in some chaos, calamity, confusion. And
You were 16 when you
yeah,
went there.
in around that age.
Did you pick up charges out that way?
No, I was certainly being, I guess, criminal or,
You were being good at it.
yeah, I was being good at it. Nobody really knew me there. And I knew that they didn't know me, so I could be anybody I wanted to be. But my whole criminal record of all my life is from Yarmouth, Nova Scotia.
The whole thing.
The whole thing, except for one time in Halifax. Here was some extortion matters, right? So
Yeah, yeah. And so, in talking about that, your whole criminal record being from
Yarmouth.
Yarmouth, there probably was a bit of prejudice or the way they seen you as a person within the courts and stuff and the people in the town. But getting back to the how did you end up taking a life? Was it something you wanted to do, or was it an accident? Did you plan
Well,
it?
I'd come home from Winnipeg, and I was back and forth, and certainly seasoned around the dope game, the street hustles, all that, all the different isms. And when I got back to Nova Scotia, maybe it's 18, 19, I was fresh back into the province and in Yarmouth. And I was selling some dope and using some dope. And crack was a big thing then, right? And I was partying around some guys just getting home. And the victim in the manslaughter or the manslaughter. Eventually, it was dropped from murder to manslaughter. We can get into that. But when I got back there, I knew this guy through my life. He was older than me, maybe by 10 years. So if I was 18, he would have been 28, 30. And I was used to the older crowd and the bootlegging, gambling spots. So we get into this. This guy's on a roll. He is fighting. He's a tough, rough, strong guy. Kind of take what he want when he want. And we're doing some back and forth drug dealing and drug using, drinking, abusing, playing cards, whatever was going on in the time. And he ended up owing me some money. And I knew I would get my money, but I knew I had to wait till he was sober to get it. And I was good with that.
So you was using drugs or just alcohol?
Both.
Both, okay.
Yeah. And we all were. There was a whole bunch of us in this situation. Right?
You mentioned crack. Did you blow or did you fool around with the crack as well?
By then I had already sampled some crack cocaine, and I knew it really wasn't something I was wanting, but to deal with myself, it become another coping way to just deal with my hurt and my pain up to this point. And,
Way to numb yourself, eh?
Yeah, and on this occasion, this day, it all come to a head, and the more I told the guy I didn't want to fight, I think many would have thought, because Jason don't back down no fights, and maybe he's scared, or maybe he's unsure. There was a lot of maybes, but I knew I wasn't dealing with the person I knew. I was dealing with his addiction. I knew that better than even other people in the room who were senior to me, because I'd already been through a lot, right? And exposed. And I leave there, and I was going to meet another guy to make more money, more trafficking in the situation. And these guys followed me. And I'm like, man, don't follow me. You can't go where I'm going. They went anyways because they were out of money, kind of drugs avenue. I wasn't. And then when I got to where I was going, that's when the fight kicked off and ensued. And the guy tried to just bully me.
So two of them, did they both try to get you at the first?
Well, the other guy was a little younger, so he was just kind of rooting the guy on, but I had to kind of fend the both of them, watch for the both of them. So I got fighting with the older man, the bigger gentleman, and we get to fighting, and I kind of guess I knew he wasn't a trained fighter in no sense, so I knew I could get him, but every time I would fight on him, I'd hit him, he'd fall down, he'd get back up. And he's a strong guy, and at one point he rushed me, and we kind of tussled around, and I went to take him from his feet, and from there, and of course my adrenaline's pumping and flowing. I know he means to hurt me. I don't think killing him ever crossed my mind, but hurting him bad really did cross my mind. I'm going to hurt you before you can hurt me. I try to be first, right? And he ended up hitting his head, and as a result of me trying to maneuver him to a position, and he kind of like a power driver in a sense.
So you kind of picked him up and power driving.
And he's kicking and flopping, and he went down and he had his head, and there was no blood or nothing, but he wasn't moving.
All right.
He wasn't moving at all. And I don't know that I could sense he was breathing a bit, and then I tell the other guy, like, kind of back off or you're next type deal. I don't remember my exact words, but I still had to fend for myself against the both of them. And So I end up helping the guy up or put him on my shoulder. And the place I was going was only a matter of a few feet. So I carry him over
So you
there.
picked the guy up that you had hurt,
Yeah,
and you're trying to help him now.
yeah.
Or at least get him over there and get him.
Yeah, at least try to get him some medical attention because I wasn't sure what exactly was happening, but I knew he was hurt. I don't know he was hurt bad. I just didn't know how bad and why. So I get him to the door of the spot. I'll go upstairs and I knock on the door. The guy knows me, familiar to me, drug dealer guy, older guy. And he's like, "What's up?" And I'm like, "Man, I'll try to do this re-up, but we got a problem. The guy's downstairs. I don't know if he's breathing. He's not moving. He's not knocked out. Something's wrong." And he's like, "Well, that guy was here earlier, and he had found some drugs and left his jacket chain, come back, beat me up,
Oh
took
yeah,
his jacket chain,
beat this guy up
drugs."
you were talking to.
Yeah. And I'm like, "Oh, shit, like this has happened." But I heard he was on a roll because a couple guys I looked up to in the community, he had already kind of beat them up the day before,
Okay.
because so he was just kind of in a roll in that way, right? He was on a bad run.
So it sounds when you're telling this story, and it sounds like you guys are fighting, and this guy's kind of following you, him with somebody else. It definitely sounds like self-defense.
Yeah.
But it also, I can see how if this guy had been beating people up or something in the community, how it could be taken that Jason was kind of getting them for everybody else. Was that kind of?
I think some people wore that thought, shared that thought, that sentiment. Some people just thought I was Stone Cold Killer. Many people don't know the actual intricacies of the case. It was just a he said, she said, and that was good enough for them. But when this happened, what made it a little more trivial or a lot more trivial, was after this guy tells me this, and I'm like, "Still, you got to help the guy. You're going to have to call somebody. I can't really just leave the guy there and walk away." So he's like, "I'm not doing it." And I'm like, "Yeah, you are doing it. And you don't do it, I'll get you." So he's put him out of position, and he called the ambulance. The ambulance comes, and I'm only thinking the ambulance are going to determine what's wrong, treat him, make him well at some point. And when they show up, the police show up with the ambulance peoples. I wasn't expecting that. And they quickly to ask me, "When did you get back to town?" They were familiar with who I was. "When did you get back to town? Blah, blah, blah. What happened? Tell us what happened." And I wasn't saying what happened. I lied. And I said, I don't know. He was like that. I found him. He maybe got hit by a car." So right there, that lie, my not being certain of what was enough to put me at a major disadvantage. But
Because they're saying you lied about
later on, yeah. But
withholding
so
evidence.
in real time, I left the situation. I went back to, I walked down the street with the guy that was with him. I said, "You go your way, I'm going to go my way. We're not going to say nothing of what really happened here, and we'll just await the hospital, the outcome." I went to my grandmother's house, and I could tell her the truth of what really happened and why. And just being unsure of what would happen next, she said, I think we should call the police. He's in a very bad way. His family lived on or worked with my grandfather, my great-grandfather. I think his biological father would have worked with me.
So it wasn't just a small community. You guys actually knew.
Yeah,
Family.
our families kind of live very close proximity, right? And we're all intertwined through the families, right?
Okay.
It wasn't a stranger to me or something.
Is he a white
random.
guy or black guy?
White guy.
Okay.
And he was a fisherman, so he's very able, very strong, and he was a brawler, a fighter.
Okay.
And I knew again, I wasn't dealing with the guy I see with rationale. I was dealing with his affliction, his addiction, his habit. So when the police take me, they come get me from my grandmother's, and I go to the police station, and whatever the interview process, it happens, and then they tell me the guy's gonna die. The family's gonna pull the plug on this guy, and it just I kind of wept at the whole thought of the shame brought onto my family. I was wearing that instantly. The situation I was now going to be faced with when he does die, they do pull the plug, and I'm hoping that doesn't happen. But when it happened, my world kind of collapsed in, right? As far as the uncertainty to the what's next.
Because now you know you got to deal with the courts and
having dealt with them so many times before, the unfairness I knew I would receive was inevitable. And that was my thought, and that's how that went. I went to court. I did a good span of time on remand. I can't remember exactly, but it was a murder too. I had a very good lawyer, very good, one of the best in the country. And
were you paying for that, the lawyer, yourself?
No.
Okay.
I had some help and assistance into that, and Joe Pink was actually the lawyer.
Joe Pink?
Yeah. And he is from Yarmouth as well. His
Okay.
family there. The best lawyer in the country, right?
So he's the one that got it down from...
Manslaughter to, or second degree murder to manslaughter. But when we're going through the court process, we reach the preliminary inquiry stage, and the guy that was with the victim, he got caught in a lot of contradictory things, a lot of just half-truths and whole lies. The guy that I made call the ambulance, he had give testimony in the preliminary as well. He had said something like, well, I only said what I said in my statement. And they said, is it not true? He said, that's not true. They said, well, you signed it. There's your signature.
What was his statement?
He said all kinds of things that weren't true. Like
in your
almost
favor?
No, against me. That my intention was to even get him. But he didn't tell him that I was going to get him if he didn't call the ambulance for the guy on the ground, because he wasn't wanting to do it. But by the time he got to court, I don't know what made him say any different other than he knew he was lying, that he said the police had, and he said, this is all public record still, and he said the police had told him to say that of me. And the other guy said, the guy that was actually with the victim said in court, he broke down crying. My lawyer asked him, why would you say and do this? And he said, my family would have disowned me had I said anything different. That's why I said it. So those two key components, those are third-party witnesses to the crime, reduce the chance, I think, for a conviction in second degree.
Okay.
My lawyer didn't tell me what to do, but he gave me a thought to another case. He said, I had a case, a guy, second-degree murder. He could end up with manslaughter. He rolled the dice. He was doing, and now he's doing life. He said, I wouldn't want you, I don't think you meant to kill him, and all of that. He said, but this is the lawyer. He said, would you want to really take the chance at being a black man, killing a white man, small town, rural Nova Scotia? Things go wrong. The only other options are to appeal. I said, well, give me a little bit of time to think about it. And it wasn't long in thinking about it before I said, okay, I will take the manslaughter. If I thought pleading out to life 10 would have alleviated some strain or pain on either side. I was certainly prepared to do that, not understanding what that life sentence would have really meant to my life. So I got to the manslaughter. We set with the defense a set of circumstances, our own. The Crown set their set of circumstances, which was different. We didn't have to agree in that. We just agreed to the manslaughter. The Crown wanted 10 years or something, and the defense wanted 3 to 5 with the time that I did on remand.
You already served.
I ended up with 6 years, and they
Okay.
didn't include the time of remand. So then I was on my way to the penitentiary. But I could say to you, Rob, when I was young, of the Shelburne School for Boys through young offenders and stuff, I knew I was going to prison, the
Yeah.
feds. I knew I was going. I just didn't know how long, for what, and when. But I knew with what my mind was towards, I was definitely going to hit the penitentiary at some point.
That's why it wasn't something you were scared of or thought of ways for it not to happen. You just waited for it to happen.
I was just kind of knowing it was going to happen, and I tried to find every measure I could to evade or elude prosecution in any matters. But
Up to the time from childhood to Shelburne and to dealing with this and going to jail, how do you feel about yourself as a person? Did you feel yourself as a worthy person that
No.
you should have a good life?
no. No, I didn't. And I mean, I was, and I'm not playing a victim in any sense, but in the papers and things, I was polarized, demonized, ostracized, criticized, scoriated, maligned against. What the reasons or components for that, contributing factors, I don't know. That's their side. I guess bad news sells more paper than good news.
Okay. So they always put you in a bad light no matter what.
Yeah. So when that happened, I remember after this had happened, there was some sort of thing, crack cocaine hit small town. I'm already being sentenced, and they're at the old Sackville jail trying to interview me under camera, and they did. I can't remember the name of the episode or what the program was, but it's like crack cocaine, hit small town. If you could tell kids, I just say no to
So this is
drugs.
not your first time on camera.
No. I've been on some nationally syndicated stuff too, like the Fifth Estate.
Good.
Mary Jane Weber presents some different things, right? But never to the good of anything.
So these were people that were interviewing you to help you or just to get a story for themselves and better themselves?
I think to get a story for themselves. Like it's like an old lady crossing the street and we help her. That's not going to make the papers. But if I mug her, front row.
Last night you sent me some stuff. Me and the wife and Shauna, they helped me read through it and see what it was saying. That lady wasn't saying a whole bunch of negative stuff about you, but it wasn't anything good neither. It was just a good story for her because you were the popular name at the time. And you've been the popular name many times. I remember a time you were all over the news, and I helped you. They had released you. They had released you from jail when you wasn't supposed to be released from court, and then you had to end up. Tell the people about that story, and just keep talking. Tell us about Jason and the things that you've been through, and we really want to hear about your side of the story. Side that people really don't know. Let's tell the people, not that you're making excuses for the man you've been, because I know you're not.
That's it.
But what is your side?
Well, I started to think with all this, with these medias and attentions and newspapers, I'm thinking, okay, that's how I'm being projected. That's the image. That's the narrative they're putting forth. That's not good. That's bad. I'm not glorifying none of these things, and this is demonization, right? It's marking me. It's putting a target, the front, the back, either side of me, right? For law enforcement or all the social ills of society, right? It's like, if I am that bad, and I've tried. What do I have to lose by being 10 times worse than that? I guess nothing.
That was your mindset.
That was my mindset. That was my thought. And seeing my name in the papers time and again, always. And then a situation where you would remember is I was in a bunch of extortions here in the city.
Here in Halifax.
Yeah, in Halifax. And a few times I hit the paper for shooting up the Derby and stuff, but there was no conviction, so those narratives weren't very good. But for the ones that were good were the ones that led to convictions. So every kind of cop around become a little overzealous, to say the least, to kind of bring me in. And they had let me go. I had a cop come to get me for arrest me. But he comes plain clothes. I don't even know that he had a service revolver. And to me, just like a street guy. I open up the door, he puts the gun to my head. I don't figure some street stuff caught up with me until I realize he's a Fed. I hear the speakers and radios, Alpha 1, Charlie Foxtrot, whatever the deal. I'm like, ooh, it's the Feds, not the bad boys, right? And
You was a little bit relieved.
Yeah, I was relieved. And he was coming to question me about a safe or something, right? But that's some way to get you for a safe, gun, cocked, loaded, right through your head, right? Mm-hmm. And this ain't his service revolver and his jean jacket and jeans. And the irony in it, he's a brother-in-law to the guy I killed.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's not good.
So we get there, and I'm in custody. I'm already out on a bunch of extortions where I'm alleged, me and a group of guys, to have thrown dynamite and shot up houses and a prominent real estate family, and some dope went missing, and we trying to recoup the loss. I didn't get some money. I was the last to bring into arrest of 9 guys co-accused. So it was a big deal for them, and the law enforcement in the city. And I go through this, I get breached. So I'm in jail waiting the new charges. Because after the guy puts the gun to my head, this is the brother to the victim in the manslaughter, brother-in-law. So he's a RCMP officer, and he's with this other black guy. He's an RCMP officer. And I remember being so aside myself. I said, well, I'm going to grab mine. And I'm going to do the same to you, so I'm charged. Nothing comes of the safe matters, like nothing with what they were there for. And I beat it in court. The judge says, I don't beat it, but the judge says something to the effect of, Mr. Middleton, you come to the door, the hammer was cocked, it was a Chrome 45, it wasn't your service revolver. At the end of the day, it wasn't a service revolver. Who wouldn't be aside themselves with that? If I moved or anything, life is over. And that didn't happen, but I was really enraged. He said, I don't think, Mr. Judge said, I don't think Mr. Middleton even remembers what he said, and why would he when I see the evidence suggests? So I'm going to give you time served. So with that, he said, you're free to go. So I just say to the sheriffs real quick, well, let me sign these papers for my jewelry. I got my jewelry, I'm on the highway. I don't think my brake lights come on for time. And I hit here in the city. And before I get midway, I'm all over the news, armed and dangerous. This apprehension is, whatever. So I'm like, yeah, they're going to shoot me. But life ain't really worth living if this is what it's really about, is going through my mind. And
So they weren't supposed to let you go because you were already in custody on another charge.
Yeah, he said time served. I was out on bail. The judge said time served for what time I'd served, maybe 30 days. And I was in a high-speed trial situation. So I got found guilty, but I got the 30 days time served, which constituted collapsing my bail on all the extortion matters up here in the city. But I was kind of wondering when that would happen. If it happened, then it happens. I'm midway to the highway. I leave the courtroom right for the highway. And that's when I run into you up here. And I'm like, man, I'm on the news, this and that. I'm going to keep going. And I think, I don't remember verbatim, but he was like, they're going to shoot you, right? And I'm like, yeah, I know. But they're going to have to catch me. And, you know what I mean? It could be some smoke up in that party, right? But it wasn't to be with some bravado. It's, again, the self-preservation, right? Like, what am I going to do? Yeah.
So they let you go, and then now they put out all these things for your arrest, that you're armed and dangerous, based on a mistake they made in court when you should have been held on another matter. And then we run into each other, and I do know a police officer from the community that works in the wood and stuff, and I really just know him from that. I know he was a police officer and he works in the wood yard. He sold wood, and I talked to him once in a while, so I kind of trusted him that if you were gonna be arrested or turn yourself in, that maybe he could help you.
Yeah, and I wasn't going to get the 4 warning shots in the back that I thought I was getting.
And he did that. He did help you get there safe. You turned yourself in.
First time I'd ever surrendered. First time I'd ever seen something to that effect go like that.
I want to go back to the fact you said the guy coming to the door, it wasn't his service revolver that he put to your head. Is that what you said?
That's right.
So he put basically
It's all public record.
He basically put a illegal gun to your head.
Maybe it wasn't illegal, but it wasn't his service.
It wasn't his service revolver. So he knew who he was coming to see.
That's right.
And he knew that even if he wasn't going to hurt you, he was going to try to scare the shit out of you.
And even if he wasn't going to scare the shit out of me, he was going to make sure I didn't have the upper hand, because he don't know what's on the other side of that door,
Right.
other than it being me.
So you get you're dealing with that, and you're doing time for this for manslaughter. That's where we met in Spring Hill Institution.
Might have been 19, 20 years old or something, both of us.
Yeah. That's where we met. You came in there, big guy. You're still a big guy, big in stature and everything. And you look big, you talk big. You know what I mean? Everything about you was big. And then you came in for murder. So you come there with this persona around you, because everybody knows who you are in the news, the criminals and other guys, and everybody know who Jason is. Now we get to see Jason. Now, how did you feel walking in there amongst everybody else?
I was nervous. I couldn't say that I wasn't scared, because I'm kind of guy, when I get scared, I get highly aggressive. I don't turtle. But I was nervous. And then when I got out there, I realized, man, it's a good 30% of these guys I know from juvie. It's kind of like old home week. So and then I gravitated instantly to the more seasoned offenders, right? So. And then I met yourself, and you're always fit, and your reputation preceded you as well. So I was like, he's a wolf, I'm a wolf. A lot of the rest of them are sheep.
One of the things I remember, I standing in Unit 11, we were having a conversation, and we wasn't agreeing. We wasn't arguing that we were going to get into a fight, but we wasn't agreeing. And one of the things we said, we'll agree to disagree.
That's
you remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
I don't remember exactly what we were talking about, but that's how it ended. Well, we'll just agree to disagree.
That's right.
And that was a sign of respect.
That's right.
We're not going to take this any further, but I don't
That's
agree
right.
with you and you don't agree with me.
That's right.
And wish there was some more of that done with other people I dealt with. Maybe you thought,
Well, I guess we were learning some conflict resolution without knowing to call it that, yeah?
Yeah, so we met. You would have run into some other people in there that become to be good friends of yours, and you want to talk about, without mentioning names or anything, but just some relationships you acquired in jail and what they meant to you.
I had some very, very strong relationships there, and
not gay relationships.
No,
nothing romantic. Let's get that straight. Yeah.
Nothing romantic, right? I had some very close relationship with, I say, my comrades, right? And my one, we have that same mutual acquaintance, and I have a picture of us. It's me, you, some 3 other guys.
Right.
And that was closeness in that. And this one particular guy, there was 2, actually. And when I was in Atlantic, I was only at the Medium in Spring Hill a short time. They said, we're not taking you back. And they meant it, because they never did.
Mm-hmm.
Even when I went from max back to medium, they wouldn't touch me. But they wouldn't take me. But when I was there, I ended up...
Did you get shipped out from Spring Hill to a max?
Yeah.
So once you got shipped out from Spring Hill, every time you got in trouble, they just sent you right back to the max.
Yeah. They wouldn't take me. They wouldn't take me back. So it just got maxed up from then. And when I got to the max from Spring Hill, there was a lot of brothers in Spring Hill, a lot of cool cats, you know, red guys, brown guys, every kind of guy, right? Some was cool, some wasn't. But I kind of wore my welcome out there. And, you know, I was running around there, you know, I was doing the same thing doing on the street, you know, and like big chains full of diamonds. You could wear your own.
Yeah, you could wear your own clothes there.
Yeah, and I was like fresh as gear, right? So high sign and just trying to mask the pain inside. I really didn't understand. I didn't understand it to be pain, or why it hurt so bad, or why I couldn't make sense of it all, right? But with that, I hit the max and I got there, and then it's the propensity for violence and all other things was heightened. So in through all of my experience, I felt that when in Rome, we'll do as the Romans do. If they bloodthirsty, I'm bloodthirsty.
You had to survive.
Mm-hmm. And when I got there, there was no melting pot, mixing pot. There was black and white, and a lot of brothers weren't welcome to the general population. That was just a matter of fact. And I knew some brothers that was good guys, but they just being black was enough to, you're not going over there.
In population.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Had to sign a waiver there. There was a guy from East Preston there when I got there. And he was one of the only black guys there. There was a couple other brothers from the general population, but they had spent a good duration of time in segregation for mishaps and misconduct and whatever, but lengthy periods of time in SAG, like months on months on months, right? So when I get there and I get to know who I know and other cats, some really, really cool some white guys there that liked me, knew me, stood by me, and then, yeah. Yes, and I've been there, like, every time after that was back there. So I've been there and a lot of times.
Yeah. So you're in jail for taking a life, and it wasn't through that period of incarceration, but a good friend of yours that we both knew and took as our friend, he lost his life in jail. How did that affect you?
Very, very deep. I had a very, very dark place, and then there were two. First was the guy we're referencing, and then there was the second one. I think the first two murders at Atlantic Institution were both black guys, both from here in Halifax. And the first guy was my very, very close and dear friend. We run around on the street, and we run around in there. I met him in there, and then we were out here together, and on the street. And he was back there doing a life sentence, and he ended up getting murdered. Mm-hmm. I don't know the intricacies of how it happened or why, and it don't much matter today. Mm-hmm. But it mattered then, because it was really confusing, and I blame myself. I blame the guards. I blame the inmates. I would blame people couldn't possibly have nothing to do with it. I was just mad. I was hurt. I was, on top of everything else, like, this guy played by the rules and enforced the rules, and he's dead? Mm-hmm. Like, for what?
Because he would have been one of the guys that, were well respected in the prisons with the white guys and the black guys.
That's right.
And that would, come to certain black guys, depending on what they were in for, and tell them, come out, and he would pretty much have their back and walk them through.
Broke that barrier, that color line, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You said that from Shelburne, you always knew at some point you'd be going to jail.
Mm-hmm.
So, are you overly surprised about the reputation you built? You knew you were going to go to jail, but did you want the reputation that followed Jason Middleton and made the society think that you
Was
were
a monster?
Yeah.
No, certainly not. Certainly not. And in times in there, I was like, I could have been doing, and I still can do so many other things. But by this time, my thought was, I'm going to be criminal right until I die. Because by this time, I was, I was knowing and sensitive to a lot of things. But this was a 24/7 everyday conscious decision to be in the streets
There was a
in
time.
all of Canada, right?
There was a time that you released from prison, and I think you were doing what's it called, parole,
Mm-hmm.
and you ended up going to college and getting on a football team and that. So with all your confusion and back and forth to jail and seeing yourself at point in jail, you were trying to pursue other things.
I was.
At what point did you just give up on the football and that life and say, I'm just going to be a criminal?
Well, I kind of had that in my mind to think. It wasn't to full capacity, but I try to reverse this trend. I made a half-hearted attempt. I only call it half-hearted because I went to a university and I was going through continued education. I was in an undergraduate degree arts program. Academics, again, come very easy. But playing football, was an outlet, and I was big, I was strong, I was fast, and I like hitting. And I didn't mind the 2-a-days, the 3-a-days, the training aspect. I was already accustomed to me to be that way. But when I was there, I took my friend that was doing the life sentence with me, because there's a big guy.
Because he had got it on parole.
Right. So we were allowed to, we were good for each other, is what they said. Even though we were in different parole spaces, we were good to each other and for each other. He was making progress in his life. I was making in mine. They didn't mind us being together. So in that, we had spent a lot of time training together, entertaining together. Like, we did a lot of things together. I met his family and met mine, and we're just like brothers, right? And he's like my older brother, and he had ended up catching his life sentence. The police come down around the university.
So he took another life while he was on parole, basically.
Yeah. So they figured I had some knowledge or knowing of this, and the school, they said to me, this is no longer a Jason thing. This is university student, conspiracy to, accessory to the murder. The police are here asking questions, Jason. This is bad PR. And I'm like, well, okay, you're going to cut me loose. Whatever you're going to do, you're going to do. And then they come back and brought me into the athletic director. And he had talked to me about, okay, the coast is clear. You can get back to football and school and all of that. By then, it just was a bad taste in my mouth. And I said, fuck this. This ain't what I really want to do anyways. And I certainly ain't going to see it to completion now. So I leave my stuff in my locker and I fool around, hide some dope around and collect that up and back to the block, right?
So you were going to school, but you were dabbling with the little bit of dope.
I was still in the streets.
Yeah. One of the big reasons I want to do bass talks, I want to go back a little bit. When I was a kid, and the teacher asked me what I wanted to do with my life. She asked the whole class. When it came my turn, this is great primary. I said I wanted to be a doctor. I didn't know why. But if I had went down the road to being a doctor, there would have to be a lot of study and a lot of stuff I would have to go through, a lot of people I'd have to learn from. And then I say it in my own personal video. I had that thing going on with me on the bridge where those two things were fighting with each other, arguing. One wanted me to be a hitman, one wanted me to be a minister. Now, I'm saying this to say this. One of the reasons I want to do bass talks and have people like you on. I didn't go to school to become a doctor, and I'm not standing in front of some pulpit giving a sermon. But with all the experiences we got in life, and we're still here, we have that degree as a doctor. But now we can take it and try to help somebody heal. So that's what I want to hear. So, and then I am ministering because now I'm getting the chance to talk, and somebody's listening. I hope you're listening.
I am.
And then bring people on like you to share your story, not to glorify the story, but to prove that you done the work. Whether people think the work was a work of ignorance and hate or whatever, you've put in the work to prove that you know what you're talking about. And saying that, I want to go back to the kid that never had the chance to use his great attributes of as a big guy, a strong guy that could tote a football field up. And you got into this crime thing. You think your life's going to end up going to jail. To the people out there watching, the young men and the young women, what can you say to them? What can we start to say to them if they're starting to get into this mode now with wanting to follow the drugs, wanting to follow the women in the streets, all the hype, but they have, they have stature like you. They're a big man. They can go to school. They can play football. They can basically be anything they want because you said that your school wasn't hard for you. So you could have did a lot of different things. What do we say to those people that the Jason Middletons that are right there right now? How do we curve them not to end up killing someone by mistake?
Well, that's a good question, and myself personally, I'm not certainly glorifying G thing, street thing. I'm not glorifying. There's some regretfully shameful things. I had to go along with all that, whatever they would call fly shit. I had a lot of shameful things, regretful things, hurtful things that only served to compound the hurt I was already feeling from a little boy, the abandonment, the neglect, the abuses. And I would say to the guy out there doing what guys like us would have done and are doing it now, pump the brakes, let my mess of life be some sort of message, right? Because it's genuine, it's authentic, it's real. But I made it. I transformed. I mean, you have. I look at you, brother, and I see how vulnerable you can be, and I want to thank you for that. I'm sorry again. I told you this that you would have had to go through all you have gone through to get to where you're at now. But where you're at now is where I'm at and where I want to remain, and it's not necessary based on reputation, ego, pride, these things. It's not necessary to go through hell and torment in self to be that. There's a way to be free of these things.
Knowing you and knowing a lot more about you, I mean, most of it we're not even going to discuss on here. But knowing the man you are and the things you've been through and the things I've been through and some of the people that have been in the places we've been to, if people really knew their story, if they really knew what it felt to be a Robert Brown or a Jason when you're by yourself, when you're scared, when the things have happened to you and you don't have no answers and nobody's coming for help. And then your life's already pretty much a mess with things going on back and forth to jail and your own addictions and stuff. But then other things happen because you have a son or had a son that his life was taken. You want to talk a bit about that?
Well, my firstborn, I have 3 children. I didn't have a child till my first child. I was 28. And I had a son, Jaden Dre. I have a son, Jaden Dre. And he is, then I have a daughter. He would be 27 now.
You say would be because he's no longer with us.
Yeah, he's no longer with us. He died at 17. And my firstborn, 28 years old. So through all this time, I really only had myself, my community, my peoples to think of. I didn't have children. I wasn't sure if I could have children, but then I have a child. I have a little boy. And Jaden Dre, it's Hebrew, God will judge. Yeah?
Okay.
And he died at 17. Really outstanding personality. Great athlete, potential on field, and now he's gone.
How did you die, Jay?
I was in a car accident, and he had a little vehicle, a high performance vehicle. I don't know if he's the greatest driver, but he thought he was. And some things were happening. It was speeding, and the car flipped, hit the water. He had 2 passengers. It was under the water some 15 minutes.
He was.
The other 2 kids got out. One found the air pocket that he stayed in till rescue come. The other kid, I think, kicked the window, broke a window, got out. And my son, he survived maybe 24 hours or something in that day. After this had happened, last time I was here, it moved me to tears.
Yeah. We'll probably cut that back in.
He'd been on the water 15 minutes. That wasn't registering. And then when it did, it again got very, very dark and gloomy, and
Hey man, take your time, man. I know it hurts.
And
Yeah, that's did you I know you're feeling it right now, and did you feel some kind of guilt and put blame on yourself that you should have been there for him? That wouldn't have happened if you had been doing better things for your son.
Yeah, and I was thinking sins of the father, and if I coulda, woulda, shoulda, and like I did this to me, my son. Here I go again, making a mess of things, and it just got really bad, and it just changed. The circumstance was just not good, right? It's with all of that, I watched his life in chapters. That was hard.
Did you feel that you deserved to lose him because of your lifestyle?
I thought of it like sins of the father, right? It was my sins of all the wrong and this fuckery I did to myself and others. It attached itself to him like I cursed him or something.
What about the people in Yarmouth? Did you sense that they were kind of saying goody for you? You took a life, now someone your loved one is gone?
Some had said it out loud, never to me. Thank God for me and them. But when I was in the funeral, I remember there was thousands of people
Came to his funeral?
through this wake period. His football team, his baseball team, his community. He was at school up here. He had played on a Nova Scotia select team under 18. He went to Canada Cup.
Playing football.
Yeah, and he won Atlantics. He was a great baseball player, very coachable, teachable heart, very good in nature, a gentle giant, real big kid, 6'5", probably toned down to 290.
So a lot of
Still growing to do when he passed.
So a lot of potential, just like you.
Mm-hmm.
So looking back on that and seeing how you had the potential and you kind of let it slip through your fingers because of your mindset and what you thought you was going to be with your life. Do you feel like you kind of let Jaden down, that you didn't catch him before? I mean, even though he had a car accident, it was a car accident, but were you even living in the house with him at the time he had the car accident?
No, I left when he was a baby, but I'd seen him, that's why I said I'd seen him in chapters. I was either in jail or living in a different province. So I would see him, he was 1, then he was 3, then he was 5, then he was 8, 9, then he was 12. And I never moved back to Nova Scotia in a long term. He might have been 14 to 17, 15 to 17. And we were getting better because then he was curious about who I was based on what he heard, what he knew. But we were always open. And he said, Dad, he said, I know you're trying to change in your life. And think of it like this, Dad. You're the boat. Me, Jasona, baby Jack, we the engine. You don't need, I want to cry again, but there's crying, there's healing and crying. But he said, yeah, you know the direction you want to sail, Dad? And you don't need anchors. You got to do it. So we kind of reversed roles in that moment. So I was like, he's a parent, I'm the child. And I was like, where you get that from? How you talk like that? Like, why do you say that? He said, we're the same man, Dad. We're the same man. And I know he did more in his 17 years. And some people would do in 70. Like, he's traveled, he's seen, he's generous, he's understanding, he's kind, you know. And he's everything I wasn't, and his potentials, you know, I say cut short, but
Some people say a lot of people that are, you know, so-called believers and stuff say things are going to happen because God is doing this and God's doing everything. And at the end of the day, you know, I kind of know the same thing that I call God it. It's doing what it wants. But it comes to a certain point with certain people. It's still doing what it wants to get a message out. The one thing I liked about the character Jesus in the scriptures, and I call it character for different reasons.
not to cut you off, but I'd seen some of your own stuff, your own experience, and I was going to ask you to just clarify this Jesus take, your take on the Jesus character, if you will, right?
My take on the Jesus thing is really the word, because I know from my own
The
research.
scripture.
Yeah, the scripture, what is known as the Bible, but there's many writings and books that could be considered the Bible. But my take on Jesus is the word, and the words are powerful. So the words that I find in that book have helped me, but I had to do the work. You know, I'm not looking for any Jesus. I'm the only Jesus I'm looking to see. I'm looking to see it in me, looking to see it in you, my daughter, other people. Religion, like if anybody watched my tape, religion messed me up for a long time because it had me looking for something that was inside of me. You want me to get talking about Jesus? There's something I said about Jesus on my personal tape. I said Jesus was getting his disciples ready to be fishers of men. But when you think about that, when I think back about that, even the things I said and the way I think about it, he was getting his disciples to be fishers of men, not fishers of fish. Because if you take a fish out of the water and put it on land, it's going to die. But for a man that's in water, ready to drown, and you take him out and put him on land, you help save him. So that's what I'm hoping to do. Jesus, the character to me, I say the character because if you do your research, you'll find there was no J at the time. So it couldn't have been Jesus. So they say, oh, it's some other name, then it's this or that. But I'm saying, but it can't be what my mom told me, that Jesus is the name I need to say to be saved because of all my sins so I don't go to hell. See, I'm not about all those fear tactics anymore. And I'm done being scared. And I'm done not being the person that I want to be because the world has shaped me to be something that suits their narrative. Like the news was shaping you into something that was shaping their narrative, but they never really got a chance to know the man. I want to talk about something hypothetically if you were in this situation. Because I think about it because a gentleman told it to me and it hit me hard. Because I know a lot he went through and not feeling wanted, not feeling like he could achieve much or amount to much. He told me about a time he was young, just a kid, that someone close to him tried to smother him. And he had to pretend he was dead so they would stop. And when he told me that, man, it hurt me. I'm saying, how in the hell? How the hell is a person survive that? The people that's supposed to love you are trying to take you out. How are you going to trust anybody? I mean, how would you feel like if you were ever in that situation, man?
I would feel so much smallness in my thought process, so much small in my spiritual being, so much small in my social, like just small, real tiny, no growth, no room to expand. It creates, I think, a black and white dichotomy of thinking that all or nothing, just based on the primal instinct to survive, right? There's no thriving in it. It's hurtful, but yeah, brother.
I would think it would create a feeling of not wanted, not meant to be here, wasted someone's time. It would just create a person that never gets to the place that they're loved, that they're seen, that they're special. And for someone to grow up from a kid to go through that, and I have my own traumas, but that one would make me hate, especially the person that did it to me. Because a lot of times I think back on the things that people did to me. When I think about them, it's only through my willpower not to do nothing. Do I not hate them? Or do I not want some kind of revenge? But how can I go back and change what's happened? And you being here, sitting here talking with me, and we're sharing these stories. I share stories, you're sharing stories. I mean, and I'm really just asking you, man, what can we do more than this to help somebody see a better, lighter path? Sharing our story, and I do this from the safety of my home. One time I used to go to clubs and be in there with my buddies and stuff. I like being there because once a fight broke out, I could be there to help protect them. But I usually was the one that went to jail when they went home. So that kind of grew out of that as well. But being here in the safety and wanting to share these stories to a young girl, a young guy that's finding themselves in situations, whether it's through something they're dealing with sex, addiction, feeling lost, feeling, unloved. Man, like, is there more we can do besides open up? We're making changes in our own life.
Sure.
What is it?
There's things you can do. I think, like one of the things I do now is putting a structure in legalese. I have a lawyer friend who is putting some structure in legalese to this nonprofit. It's
So you're starting a business?
Profit for nonprofit. But what it will do is, at the end of the day, there's a few of us. We want the same outcomes. We're looking at men and women circling in and out of the justice system. Mostly men, too, that have issues with problem anger, that it's closely associated with being criminalized on a certain percentile, right? This is escalating, 4,500 suicides in the country.
So you're saying to the people, get doing something that you have passion to do.
Yeah, you find. For me, I kind of find purpose in the pain, right? And I know the pain I was in. I certainly can know some of the pain you're in because you shared it, and we've gone from that metamorphosis, like that caterpillar to a moth kind of thing, a butterfly. But
So the pain you went through from coming up and all the things you went through, and now you're thinking of it and understanding it, bring you back to the person that you probably always could have been, someone that cared more and wanted to help more. But now you have the proof and the experience to help.
Yes.
Yeah, you have your diploma.
Yes, through a lived experience as well as the chalkboard in school, academia, the chalkboard of life, both. But yeah, I'll try to find a message in all of the mess, right? And I found it, and I think the first thing to change in any a problem is admitting that it exists. And then you work towards, in real time, reversing those trends and themes that plague us as a society, as a people, black, white, brown, red. It's a people problem. So it's a multifaceted problem. So I have multifaceted solutions to the problem. But with a lot of folks, before you're addicted to food, sex, alcohol, drugs, anything, gambling, you're afflicted. So you got to get to the root of the problem. That's like some critical thinking. But a lot of one-parent homes create a lot of tasks for the best. And we kind of become that surrogate for teaching conflict resolution, critical thinking, problem solving, goal setting. Because if it don't start in the home, it's not going to start, right? Too many other spaces.
Speaking of in the home, there was a gentleman's life that was taken, by your hands. If his kids, if he has kids, was they see you on camera talking? Is there anything that you would like to say to them?
I would say, truthfully, I'm sorry, and what I'm sorry for is the part I played in that tragic situation, took their father away. And I know firsthand what it means to be without a father or mother and many other things. So I know that. I would say that based on factual things, I don't know if it helps, but it's better than a rumor, speculation, innuendo. It's public record to what happened. It's just a matter of fact. Apologize for the absence of growth that could have came by way of their father. The love, the nurturing, the protection, the direction, the guidance that could have come by their father. I don't believe with what has happened between me and their father was a ongoing thing, a repetitive thing. It just happened. And I would take my life now not with the desires of what I've ever had before. So I pray for those that even persecute me. So I can only really say sorry and what I'm sorry for. And that's what I'm sorry for.
So you're saying that you're a changed man and you continue to change, because I know you personally, of course, and there's some things that you still deal with, and some people might think, well, Jason's not the Jason he used to be, and maybe we can try to get it over on him now.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck. But even in that mindset, you don't want them to have good luck. I would hope we want to find ways to be better, to not to keep repeating the past, and to be a light for others that are kind of caught there right now, that their present, their future, their today will be better based on something that happened in the past. Even for this gentleman's children, we don't know what kind of dad he would have been if he had been there.
We just don't know.
We don't know, but him not being there, I'm glad he said that you're sorry, because kids go through stuff and they don't understand stuff, even when they're supposed to be adults now. They still don't know why that happened, and they blame different people and they blame God and different stuff. And for you to sit here and I believe you that, you know, was pretty much, it was an accident, a shitty accident, that you were put in a place that you had to defend yourself, and you had to uphold yourself, and you did the things that you were kind of shown to do and taught to do from the streets. And whether it was the best way, it was your way. And so you talked about nonprofit. I know you work with some other people. I know you go visit older gentlemen in the community and sit and talk with them. What's that about? You like to sit and hear the old stories from
Yeah,
them?
I get to pick their brain on what was it like in 1950, and what would it happen if, and I could play a scenario from current time now, real time, and hit them with that question, and they give me a wealth of knowledge and experience. But I gotta say, Rob, how I know my measure of progression. I've progressed. You've progressed. Where we're at. But how I measure that is, I will say to myself, it's a conversation I have with myself. I say, does the pain of whatever shaped your experience, good, bad, or different, does it still hurt? And the answer is yes, it still hurts.
Which pain, the things you experienced?
All the pains and experience from a boy to a man to current right now. Does it still hurt? Those afflictions, those disruptions, those early childhood interruptions that let your developments and potentials kind of lag, right? Like, does that still hurt? And my answer is yes, it still hurts. But then I ask myself the next question. Does that hurt that you tried to mask and cover up with shiny things? Like, it still hurts, but does it control you? There's a second question I ask myself, and it doesn't have the control over me. It did when I was 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. Now I'm coming on 50, 55, right? So I certainly didn't expect to make it this far, this long, having made some very, very regretfully bad decisions. But even if I had a bad day today, which I'm not, it's good again, thanks for kicking it with me, being here, chopping it up. But if I did hypothetically have a terribly bad day today, I know as soon as tomorrow comes, I'll get a chance to start over. So, I mean, it hurts, some of these things, and I'll try to find a remedy and solution for it. And that's why I like helping people, because then we learn together. It's not like I'm teaching them something or they're teaching me something, but we're learning together.
And you say it hurts, and being Jason Middleton and the picture that's been painted of you and the things that you have done, and you say it hurts, do you even feel anybody cares that it still hurts?
I know people do. Yeah. I know people would try to help me. Today, you're being one of those folks, and I know some others. So I don't need hundreds of people in my corner, but from what I got is I believe is lined up with my passion, my purpose, and my will to not only be better, but do better. And if the creator of all things, one or two things are going to be asked, I believe, once I'm gone, and I've been dead, right? Like clinically dead. But when I'm done this all, was the world a better place having had me in it, or would it have been a better place having not had me in it? My past can't define my future. I just want to let it. I'm not going to let it. And there's times I've digressed and been right to that primal state of shitting on myself and life circumstances, and it just was not good. But I evolved, I grow, and I don't believe a seed blooms the day it's planted, but it's going to keep reaching for the light, and that's what I'm doing. I'm reaching for the light out of some darkness.
I know we, as people, are not in charge of all things, especially when we're going to come in the world, who our parents are going to be,
Very significant,
color of our skin.
too.
We're not in charge of that stuff. But it comes to a point that we can be somewhat in charge based on our thought process and what we grab from them thoughts and put in our everyday life. A lot of people want to blame things on God and God's doing this. But what if we had the choice to make good, conscious decisions at a young age, despite what was going on in our communities, going on in our house? What if we could get to ourselves and like, you know what? This little, and really see who you are and see the life you want to live. Because as a little boy, I wanted a good life. I wanted to be a good person. The world convinced me to be otherwise to survive. You know, if there's a point that I can help somebody and you can help somebody to remember what that little kid, a boy or girl, wanted and then go after that life, because it still exists out here amongst everything else, amongst all the chaos, there is order. You know, and taking a look over there at those weights. I know you're.
Yeah, my peoples ain't like they used to be. So
Your daughter mentioned.
she needs money.
I don't know if she needed the money, but I know I was talking to her on the phone and she mentioned the base challenge, or at least you guys were talking about it.
Oh my!
Yeah, I know she said that Dad needs to take that and grab that money. Yeah. But you want. This is the opportunity you can have.
Well, brother, I'm out to pass you. If you make me a reoccurring guest, well, next time, right? Next time.
I would love to have you as a reoccurring guest.
Yeah,
and we're not done now.
Yes, sir.
We're going to take a break and we'll bite to eat. And then we're going to come back and finish chatting it up, Jason.
Thank you, brother.
I appreciate you. And when we come back, I want to hear about your almost death situation. Yeah. And what you went through, and those two darknesses you told me about, you know, and the promise you made. You know, let's take a break and let's come back to that.
For sure, brother.
All right. Welcome back to Base Talks. Still sitting here with Jason Middleton, hearing about the man. How you doing, Jay?
Good and getting better.
Yeah. Jay Sona, your dad decided not to do the Base Talks this time, but he promises next time he's gonna do the Base Talks and bring you that $1,000.
There it is.
But I will give him an opportunity again. You wanna? You want to do it?
Just, round close.
We won't.
Got to get a little bit more training in, and then good things come to those that wait. Right?
I hear you, bro. We won't force it.
Daddy love you.
We won't force it. You're too big to be trying to force stuff on. So we'll leave that alone. We left off with I was going to get you to talk about your near-death experience when somebody was trying to take your life. Can we hear about that?
Sure. In around 2003, I was home 30 days fresh out the pen. I'd come home to Yarmouth from Ontario, and was just kind of kicking it around and on my way to a wedding party, and was doing some drinking. A girl calls me up. She wants to talk to me about something. I don't know exactly what something is, but I said, if you come get me, you have a license, you're not drinking, I am, and you take my car, whatever it is you want to talk to me about, we can do it in that time, but I have to get to this wedding party, change my clothes. We're in Yarmouth, Nova Scotia, and she picks me up, we're driving, and I'm like, well, what is it? And she never does say, oh, well, just wait. And she's like, I got to stop by my son's place. And I knew it was kind of like a hot spot, drug spot. I said, I don't want my car seen here, so just kind of quick in, quick out, and I got to go, right? And I'm really interested in what you're saying. Leave the car with me and get you back home. Curious to what you're going to say. She never did say. We pull in the driveway, and she goes in the house, and out comes this guy, and I see him coming, and he walks from the entrance around to the passenger side where I'm seated in my car. And he's crying, like tears in his eyes. He's not sobbing so much, but he's just a little guy, black guy. And I said, "What's going on?" I roll my window down, and he's kind of sketchy, bouncing around. And I'm thinking in my mind, he's high. He's maybe withdrawal, psychosis, whatever the deal. And he's like, "Well, why, man? And why, man?" I'm like, "I don't know why what. I don't got nothing. I can't help you with nothing. What's the deal?" And then he starts hitting me. And I got my seatbelt on, and I'm sitting on my gun, and I grab the guy, and I drag him in through the window. And what turned out to be the fact was he wasn't hitting me, he's stabbing me. So he's stabbing me everywhere, and he has like a paring knife, but that's not in my awareness. I pull him into the car. Again, he's just a little guy. I'm a real big guy. And I hit him with a few shots, but I can't get out of the seat belt. And the first thing, I let him go, and then I'll go to reach for my gun, and I'm seized right up really fast. I can't move, and my body is like paralyzed. He runs away, and I'm left there to the car, and I said to the girl, she's like, oh my God, you're bleeding."
She came back?
Yeah, she come running out the door after the momentary confrontation. She's not sure as a result, but when she gets in, I'm bleeding pretty good. Not a whole lot, but more inside. And I can't move, and I said, I got to get some help somehow. And I must have collapsed in that time. Then I'm to the hospital. I understand I get life flight to Halifax Hospital. And I spent nearly a month in life support kind of situation, the machines and all of that, supporting my life. But in that time, like my grandmother was there, and you, of course, met my grandmother in the same time period, this happenstance. And I went to this place, and I talked to different theologians, different persons, trying to find answers into
So
where...
you're going to say you went to a place in your head and thinking, or
No,
vision?
I went to a real place.
So you lost you died, basically.
Yeah, I died. And my grandmother, she told me to go with what I'm telling you now. She's worked in a hospital 40 plus years. So she said, you had the smell of death, you were dying. We weren't sure what was going to happen. All your fingernails fell off, your toenails fell off. She said, and you had that smell of death. Like, I couldn't wash it out of my clothes. I couldn't do anything. And I remember going to this place. It was dark, and it was cold. And it seemed to get colder by the second. And in this blackness, I could see my body like in the hospital and stuff. But then once I go to this place, it's all black. It's just me inside this darkness. And in this darkness, there was something blacker than the black I was in, and it would move like this, like a butterfly. You couldn't gauge what direction it was going to go. No wind, no smell, no sound. This thing is just floating around me, and I know I don't want it to touch me. I don't know why I didn't, but I just didn't. And I felt for the ground, and I said, maybe the lights, and I'm in the dark, and I'm getting colder. And I said, before I move, or let me see where I'm at. And I reach for the ground. There's no ground, and I'm scared. This is not good. And I reach for myself to see what clothing I may or may not have. But when I reach for myself, there's no body of flesh, bone, self. So I'm even more scared, and just an unbelievable fear. And And this thing's still moving around, and I call out to what I say the Most High, and I was like, if you let me go back, I will try, even if I don't succeed, to recognize, successful or not, but recognize that difference in the man I've been versus the man I should be. And I come back, and I'm in my body, and I can't open my eyes, I can't move, I can't do anything, but I can hear what's around me. And my little boy Jaden at the time was maybe 3, I think, or around about. And I could hear him playing, but I couldn't see him. And I could hear my ex-wife, she was talking to my grandmother. She's like, it's, and the doctor's there, and I could hear nurses and machines and whatever is in the room, I could hear it. I had an auntie, and some of my family was called. He's not going to make it. And I had an auntie, she said, well, this is what happens when you live that kind of life, right? And I could hear that and didn't like that, what I was hearing, but minute in the grander scheme of things. And I could hear my ex-wife saying to my grandmother, and the doctor was concurring, and he said, he may, with the lack of oxygen to the brain, he might have to learn to walk, talk, do all these things over again, and we won't know till he comes out of it. So they're saying to my grandmother, you're older lady, you have raised so many children, you did all you could do now, and they're saying there is a plot that I could be buried in. I already had 3, 4, 5 plots or something.
You can hear all this?
Yeah, and my grandmother's kind of taking it all in, and they said, but we can't measure the extent of the brain damage or the lack of oxygen to the brain. He's going to have to come out of it. And they pretty much were saying their goodbyes. So ex-wife, she went to take my hand and say goodbye, and I squeeze. But that's all I could do. And she, whatever it did to her, she left. And then I could hear my grandmother say to me, if you can hear me, squeeze my hand. I could hear her, but I didn't have no strength to do much of anything at this point. And so that was it. And I come back to my body, and when I could move, I started pulling the holes out of my mouth. I just knew something was in my mouth. And I try to pull it out, and decapitors out of me, and I'm fooling with the medical. So then they zap me with some medically induced things, right? And some police were outside the door, and they weren't sure what happened either. And nobody really could come or go for some time. But when they could come and go, I could have some visit. You showed up, and you would take my nan around, and whatever you guys did, you could probably tell me better. What did you guys do when you were taking her around from the hospital?
I 100%. I don't really know. I just know I had to be there with her.
Yeah.
As a thing for you,
Mm-hmm.
and whatever she wanted to do was definitely eat and make sure she was good, and that just have conversations with her. Really.
Yeah, that's warming. That's really nice. That's good. And I remember her saying to me, she's like, Jason, your friend Robert, he's a really nice boy, and he's helping me, and he wants to come in and see you. And I remember thinking, like, I don't know why I'm here. Maybe maybe he's gonna finish me off, like whatever the deal. I just couldn't understand where I was, why I was, what had happened, and maybe the lack of oxygen to the brain took that short-term memory, right?
You didn't want me in there. You didn't want anybody in there. You didn't trust the situation.
I didn't trust anything, anyone, right? But I trust you enough to know you was going with my nanny, right? So you couldn't have been that bad, and you know you're not that bad. But that's what I was dealing with in that time.
You told me about when we talked about. You said you made that promise to what is known as God. I call it. Where are you with keeping that promise?
I'm nearing the understanding of who I am, who I was, who I am, and what I thrive to be, and understanding myself and my hurts, my joys, my pains. I come out of it overwhelmed, obviously, and I had the doctors saying to me, "There's no medical attention," explaining why you're alive. Your heart sits in a sac, and it pierced that sac, the bleed. And one of two things should have happened. I should have bled out instantly, or my heart should have suffocated inside the sac. So they cut me from below my navel right up to my neck.
So I imagine you have a scar.
Yeah, bad one. Bad one. It goes from there and around my navel up into my chest, back around and up again. And they pry me open. They pry me open. I'm open to infection. Quadruple bypass doesn't require that much time being open, some 20 hours. And there was another factor should have been really bad and part of my demise. The knife itself, they explained, was dirty from the sink.
Right.
And it hit my bloodstream, the infection. So when I went to go for my weapon, I was paralyzed because of that. And the doctor is saying you're an anomaly. I don't mince medicine, religion, any of these things. You must have had somebody's praying for you. Mm-hmm. You shouldn't be here.
Mm-hmm. With all that things that went on with you, you have physical scars, you have mental scars. Look, how is Jason? How is your mental health and how is your physical health today?
My physical is compromised. In the last 5 years, I had got stabbed again through the shoulder and separated artery. Again, a family member, somebody supposed to love me, care, and understand, but I took it in the back and it severed an artery here, life flight again, and checked out the hospital. I think I talked to you on the phone again, right? And I went back home, checked out the hospital, went back home. So I have some nerve damage here. I can't do this with my left hand. But the whole arm was dead. Not a medical term, but a dead arm, right? Mm-hmm. But it's stronger, it's back, but the gripping the fingers is hard. Emotionally, I have some emotional intelligence where I wouldn't have before. And other than my visual,
you mean you're better?
Emotionally, I think I'm better. Yeah, I'm definitely better.
Okay.
I'm definitely better emotionally and aware. The self-care means being self-aware. And other than my eyes, visually, I have a genetic something going on, and I have to see some retinal specialists. So it certainly limits me and slows me down to a lot of things. I need some assisted devices. But for the reading, navigating, things like that, whether it could be reversed or not, I guess remains to be seen. No pun intended. But,
so what's going on with your eyes kind of keep you less moving around, You know, a little bit less, more trusting of who's around you, what their intentions are. What's it feel to be in a position?
Vulnerable.
Yeah, you feel vulnerable.
Vulnerable. But like if now when I look at it, if anything I've done with a great degree of difficulty, whether it's training, martial arts, just life, business, life matters, and certainly this issue with the eyes, it's letting me know who I am, who I am not, what I need, what I don't need, who I don't need. And it allows me to be with myself and either become my own best friend or my own worst enemy, because it's really here and here that I have to be aware, right? In my heart, my mind, and yeah.
Yeah, I too deal with some medical conditions and diagnosis from a doctor, you know, dealing with something going on with me. But I can't say I like the diagnosis, but I do like it in the fact that it lines up with what I want to do anyway. I want to slow down. I want to work less hard. I don't want to work as hard as I work. And I want to do more of this. I want to be someone that's helpful, but more helpful with my words than I have been with my hands or my ability to do construction. Construction will take care of itself. It will always be there, part of me providing for my family. But what's going on with my body is also lining up with the life I actually want to live. I don't want to, well, even with my working out, I want to work out now to get the pump on. I'm done with the straining part of it. So even with life, I want to enjoy life. I'm tired of all the foolishness, the arguing back and forth, all the do-overs. And maybe are you seeing with some of the things that you're dealing with physically, it's putting you in a place that you can come more in the grips of where Jason is today, and maybe where Jason always wanted to be, but he didn't have the understanding or even sometimes even the strength to follow through on it. Just to slow down. Just to, take more help. Don't think you know everything. Don't think you have all the answers for everything. And there are people here that can help you and at least help you in the things that you would need day to day.
Well, you certainly are giving very precise words and expression to how I feel and what my reality, for the most part, is currently. So that's really good, and it's caused me to really look for that indelible spirit of self. I don't mind being alone versus being in bad company. I don't like the fuss and the fight and the turmoil of it anymore. The things I want to do, I'm doing. And I want to do more of it. So I have to learn more of my genuine, authentic self to make good
Did you ever love
these endeavors.
Did you ever love the fuss and the turmoil?
Yeah.
You did enjoy it at some point?
I was a lot of time. I would go to a different city or a new place, and instead of being good company, good ambiance, good position, I really come from that calamity, chaos, confusion. So when things got tough, I think as most people would do, they do what's familiar. And so I didn't have a problem with being in high crime areas and low level mindsets or spirits in operation, right? So it just was familiar to me, right? So
what does peace? Sorry. What does peace or good friendships look like to you? Is it somebody doing more for you? Are you doing more for them, or is it equal?
It is equal, but I think when I can have persons around me, number one, that just bring me good energy, without wanting something in return other than to see my best interests, my doing well. And before it was always questionable to me, like, why is this person helping me? Why are they being friendly? Why are they calling themselves looking out for my best interests? But now it's different. I embrace what's hard, and sometimes just the life I live by itself is enough. So when I embrace that, it creates nuance to the mind, revelation to the soul, and I have a better position. Believe it or not, I'm doing better right now today than I've did in all of my life.
So better with peace?
Yeah,
Your peace within yourself?
In self, yeah,
Yeah.
in self. External things remain much of the same, the challenges and stuff, but I've replaced being critical with being curious too, right?
Yeah.
So
We never talked about father. Did your father was it we never brought him up on purpose at all? Is he anybody that did any good in your life, or you see him?
No, I mean, as far as having a part in my being here, thank you for that, but there was no love, protection, direction, guidance, any of that sort. I actually ended up really not liking who he was. I think I understood that with his words to me. He didn't like the skin he was in. And he wasn't talking his complexion or physical skin. He was just talking life choices, and I'm sure he contemplated it much of time, but I guess that was his saying sorry or excuse for never having been. And I don't want to, they say honor thy mother and father, right? So I mean ancestral and
Yeah, you
not
gave
just,
your life. You wouldn't be here without him. I mean, I often think about that. I wouldn't be here without my mother and
for the
father.
good, bad, the different. Wouldn't be here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be here, or we wouldn't be here. But when I think about it, I wouldn't mind not being here. I could have missed out on all the things. Yeah, I got beautiful children and grandchildren, but not the life I've lived. If I can't find a way to, change into that butterfly from that caterpillar, then life really wasn't worth it to me. So this part of my life now, I'm really trying to make it worth. So all the misery I've been through, like, I need to take it and make something out of it because it made no sense to me. So if I can make it make sense now to somebody else to help them, then yeah, I'll say, life was worth it for that. But if I wasn't here, would I miss it? Of course not. So it's impossible to miss something you never had.
That's right.
But life has been tough, and I'm sure it's been tough for you. And Jason, I love you, and it's great to see you and get you to come out and talk with me. And we talk on the phone a lot. We go into many conversations. We talk about stuff that ain't gonna be talked about on the camera, but it's real stuff. And we keep it real with each other, and we're trying to sharpen each other every chance we get. To be positive, and to be honest. When things are rough, share what's going on. A lot of times people got things going on with them, and they say they got friends, but your friend don't got a clue what's going on with you until they get a call. You're in the hospital. You got drinking and driving charge. You got a heart problem, and I mean, why don't your people that's close to you know what's going on with you? It's probably because they're not really that close. And I value our relationship, that we can start talking, and you'll come on here. We're gonna get you on here again.
That's good.
Is there anything else that you would want to say, or the people to know about the Jason Middleton? All the articles written in the news and stuff. I mean, a lot of them put you in a bad light, bro. And a lot of the stuff you did, and you even said you know you were going that way. Just because you're going some way, that don't mean you want to go.
That's right.
You just don't see another way not to go.
Yeah, brother. I mean, when I think about guys like us, and just me and you here in real time, I am really appreciative that you do understand, And I often said to you, man, how do you know what I'm going through? How do you know what I'm feeling? Like, there's no way you could read my mind. And it's like you understood. It could have been the dual reality in many instances, right? But I say that to say this: you're having gone up the road before me has been a great help to me because the courage it takes to own your part in all of these sequences, right, of life. That's a big thing to have to do. To be that courageous, to be that vulnerable, to be that confused and still own your side in it, knowing your side. Nobody else can know really how we feel until we say so.
Mm-hmm.
But you're having, I'll watch you, I'll talk to you, you never ever fronted, ever, from the first time I met you, good, bad, or different. And what you see isn't really what you get because then I watch you be vulnerable. I see you be vulnerable. I see you cry. I see you laugh. I understand your joy and pain, some of what you understand in mine. So we'll chop it up, and if anything someone can take of this and use it, it's truly meant for them. We don't do it to control the outcomes. We can't.
Mm-hmm.
We just put it out there, right?
Yeah, and I hope to keep putting it out there. I hope to keep having many guests on, man, that we can have. And I want you back again, man.
I want to come back.
We want to keep hearing about Jason,
Yeah,
what you're doing, how your projects are turning out, who you're working with. Because I know a lot of the changes in your life are putting you around different people, and those relationships, accept the ones that are good and the ones that are not, get rid of them.
Yeah, and where I'm from, this is what's changed. I spent a lot of time to myself, but I got one guy down there in the same geography as me. And he credits me sometimes for talking him off the ledge and some of his turmoils and crises. But what I get from that one guy, just pure good energy, all the time, every time. But he's not afraid to tell me
About yourself?
about myself. He's like, Jason, like,
That's a
now,
friend.
yeah, he don't tell me what I want to hear. He tells me a lot of times what I don't want to hear.
Yeah.
Then he watches my face contort, right? And he's like, you can be mad, but I got to tell you, right? That's really not it. And we do that back and forth, same as me and you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I only have 3, 4 people like that in life, well, I got it from north, east, south, and west. That's good with me. The numbers don't have to be in the hundreds, right? I'll be 50 people in the room sometimes, nobody to talk to.
Right.
So this one guy, I get more energy in this one person than I would 50, 100 people in a room, even trying to compliment my position. It's just not the same. Real recognize real, and when it's from the heart, it goes to the heart, and in my awareness, I can appreciate and thank that in anybody, young or old, and it's a beautiful thing when you get that mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, social, and everything's firing on all cylinders. It's a beautiful thing, and then you get the harness on it, and you get to direct which way it's going to go versus lose self-control.
Mm.
It's a beautiful thing to me.
Yeah, I really appreciate you. I appreciate our friendship. I appreciate how our conversations on air and off. We have a lot of them off.
Mm-hmm.
And I love how when you watch the tapes or if we're talking, how you will say something nice to me and tell me things that I don't even think I deserve or put me in a space that I don't want to be in that space. But you say something nice because you get something, and it helps me to keep going. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants to know once in a while they're doing a good job, and you're a person that you tell me what you got to say, and you're thank you for your words because they're encouraging. You say I encourage you a lot,
Yeah.
but your words also encourage me that someone like you will listen to me. Like we're the same age. You know,
Yeah.
what he get to tell me?
Does it seem like you're not older? It's just you're wiser, maybe, because you come to your position of understanding. Before I didn't. I'm like, sometimes you'll be talking to me or on the phone or what have you, and you'll say something, and I'll say, yeah, that's it. And it wasn't rehearsed. It wasn't something like that, because you'll say, what was it? What? Be clear. What do you mean? What you just said describes how I feel. But you're speaking from your experience a lot of times, or your reality. And I'm like, man, you just give words, good words, to the core of me, the inside of me. It's like you're writing on my spirit, life's inside tablet, right? You're writing good word, your good measure to me, to my spirit. So I'll keep that. I'll trust that, and it's teaching me more of me again, even in the areas of trust, relationship. And I'm not just meaning a romantic relationship, but relationships with community and self, and how we talk to ourselves versus how we talk to other people and stuff, right? So it's almost like I'm waking up with definite purpose, and my definite purpose is being at the best position I can be in, the best version of me, so I can quite simply, in peace, take care of me, take care of the people I care about and love, take care of, there's works prepared for me to walk in that where I was preordained to, right? So I didn't find something, it found me. You say it found me, right? And
You were.
I'm going to go with it. I don't have to follow something to feel complete or someone to feel complete. I don't really seek approval and validation in many people. And I never try to really fit in. I always knew I was different and maybe didn't feel worthy of or understand what that even was I was feeling, but I do now. And you're being a good comrade, a good brother, having lived in what you lived in, and then be willing to share it with what I would call sometimes a wretch like me, right? It's really,
no
really
difference.
warming, inviting, yeah?
Yeah, no, I really appreciate you, man. And I have to be in this world. I'm here. I'm glad I got a chance to meet you, you know, because not many people, I'm not even good with names, but you'll be a person I'll always remember. And it doesn't matter if it was a good story or a bad story. I've learned stuff from you. And even if I've learned something that I don't want to be anymore and I see it or hear about it, thank you. You know what I mean? If anybody does something and goes through something, now I can see them go through it. It's like the character Jesus, like they want to believe that he died so we don't have to die. Well, if you want to put other people faces on that, other people are going through things and they're not making it. You know, we're not happy they died, but be thankful that we seen them go through it. Now we don't have to go through it. They did it for us. So in a sense, they died for us.
Stood in the gap with us, yeah.
So we got friends that lost their life in jail. Now that they did that, we don't got to do that. We know what it looks like. You know, we got friends that hooked on drugs and died on drugs. We know what that looked like. We didn't got to do that. So these people have stood in the gap for us and did it for us. And I'm thankful for that. Okay, that valuable lesson you showed me. And so if we can keep doing that and helping somebody stand in the gap, take something from my words. You know, the one thing I tell my sons and my daughters, the best way to fix a problem is not to have the problem in the first place.
I never heard that until I heard you say that you said it to your children.
Yeah.
And as soon as I heard it, I'm like, okay, put not in my pocket, you know.
But it takes a lot of trial and error and know-how not to have the problem.
That's right.
You know, to know that what goes on in a club or what goes on at certain places at the time of the day and stuff, that if I just stay away from there, then I won't have that problem. I won't be in none of that conversation. I won't see that. I won't know that. And that kind of takes out your life. Knowing where you want to be and choosing that path, takes a little bit of courage and some wisdom, but we can do it. I know many men. I had a men sit here and ask me questions. I have my father-in-law. They never lived the life we live, not even close. So it's possible to live a different lifestyle and be happy pretty much your whole life. Something we don't even think is possible sometimes. But there's people doing it. So why can't we help our children find that path, to put their children on that path, that life is good? Yeah, you're going to have some ups and downs, but life is good. And Jason, man, I'm happy you survived all those life lessons. And you're still here and you're still willing to grow, bro.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And the same. Yeah, that's really real. And
you're going to come back and take that money home to your daughter?
well, yeah. I could come up with 1,000 excuses right now today, but I'll do it when I get back, right?
Yeah.
Daddy loves you, and she understands, right? And I get it. I get it.
Thanks for coming through, Jason.
Thank you.
Come back anytime, man.
Thank you, brother.
All right.
All
Love you, man.
I love you, buddy, and all I can do is give you love. You gotta make them hard choices for yourself. Them hard choices. You gotta tell yourself that's enough. You gotta tell yourself, no. You gotta tell yourself I quit. You gotta tell yourself you gotta be your own boss. You gotta be your own boss. You gotta be your own boss.
I feel you, man. Listen, thanks for the talk, bro. I appreciate it. I'll see you soon, okay?
Thanks for calling me, man.
No, thank you. All right, man.